It's my great pleasure to kick today off by inviting the winner of the housing category, housing supported by GROHE, our founder partner, and the winners. Please welcome Mark Köhler Architects.
Thank you very much. Superlofts is a new housing concept, a co-housing concept that we as architects developed in the middle of the real estate crisis. All construction had stopped in Amsterdam and nothing was being developed. And there were some plots of lands available tendered by the municipality of Amsterdam, and we decided to research how to become a real estate developer. We brought a group of friends together, each of them paid a down payment, and we started to experiment with a new kind of housing concept that we developed without developer or investor. The idea of superlofts is that you have a double high space, 2 floors, empty space, a raw space, in which you can design your ideal loft. Together, this makes a very diverse building, almost like a vertical village, with all kinds of shared facilities, shared spaces, and also autonomous in terms of energy production and water management. So, how does it look like? This is a photo from the construction process, and you see that we introduced this CLT floor as an innovation, because by hanging this floor with metal bars from the concrete ceiling, we allow every user to generate its totally unique floor plan. Vodafone picked up the success of superlofts, which has already been developed now not only in Amsterdam but in different cities in the Netherlands and abroad, and they made a commercial about it. And this tells the story so clearly that I would like to show you.
Wat mij dwars zit aan de woningbouw is dat er niet wordt samengewerkt met bewoners. Waar veel traditionele ontwikkelaars het contact met hun klanten zijn verloren, zetten wij direct met bewoners grote projecten op. Een superloft is eigenlijk een grote bak lege ruimte die je helemaal kan invullen naar eigen idee, zonder tussenkomst van derden. Er is maar één aanspreekpunt, en dat zijn wij. Omdat we met een klein team veel onderweg zijn, hebben we een virtuele telefooncentrale, zodat we altijd bereikbaar zijn, waar we ook zijn. Met onze eigen app hebben bewoners ook met elkaar contact, bijvoorbeeld om ideeën uit te wisselen over gemeenschappelijke ruimtes. De eerste superlofts zijn bijna af en binnenkort gaan we van start in Utrecht en Delft. Mensen meer ruimte bieden, dat is wat we doen.
Well, this advertisement, this commercial, made superlofts quite famous in the Netherlands and resulted in thousands of people applying to our community, which we went to other municipalities and managed to get all kinds of interesting plots of land at the fringe of the cities, often in industrial areas or old harbor areas that are transforming, using the superlofts concept as a pioneering project, that as an urban catalyst to transform these areas. This is the Houthaven in Amsterdam, in which the first 3 projects are built. And here you see plot 4. The architecture has a very robust and industrial character. It's no-nonsense architecture that allows by its openness to let the sun come very deep into the apartments. And this creates the opportunity to reinvent the apartment in a very interesting way, because you can create all kinds of qualitative spaces very deep in the building. And this also makes the building quite affordable for people to develop. Here you see the raw space on the left side. People buy it like this and then design and build their own house in it. They can also hire us to do so, but not everyone does so. It's a lot of people using their sweat equity to build their home. You know, and this is interesting because therefore the project is about 20% more affordable than a regular development, and this allows a large group of people to live in a very unique and qualitative way. So we, together with this building community, we then first create the ideal mix of apartment types. So very affordable ones, starting with 150,000 euros per apartment, to very luxurious types. This mix is what you need to create a real urban situation. You don't want to have a gated community only for the happy few. You really want to make a vibrant community. That's why it's very important that you make a good mix of different apartments. And yeah, we kind of help to organize this process with the homeowners. Here you see the floor plan and the section, and the floor plan shows you that you can generate all kind of apartment types around this smart core. So in this case you see 4 different apartments, but you can easily make 5, but also just 1. We then develop all these kind of building systems that people can choose from and update their design with. The building is, by the way, completely climate neutral. It uses solar power, geothermal heat pump, geothermal cooling, CO2 directed ventilation, and so on, electric window shutters. So it is really also a sustainable building that is completely independent from the net. Then some of the houses, to see the result, these are Jan and Nicole. They made this house with like a Wunderkammer. They collect art. You enter in their house. On the right picture, you see all their art collected in this kind of Wunderkammer hallway. Fantastic design by the clients themselves. In this house, you can see 2 entrances on the ground floor, allowing an office workspace to be combined with an apartment on an upper floor of this apartment building. So this is also interesting that it's not only a place for sleeping, but you can also see this as a real loft building with workspaces integrated. And this is a start loft for a young family that wanted an affordable house, which they designed themselves as well in this fashion. And an expensive, more luxurious penthouse. So we build it in a prefab way. All the wall and floor elements are prefab concrete, creating these kind of boxes which are stacked as containers on top of each other. What is smart about the project is that the elevator only stops on the other floor, which allows the mezzanine floor in the core to be used for bathroom storage. You see that here in a tower that we are developing now, that the mezzanine floor is used for these kind of dark, as normally a dark space, used now for for functional zoning. And this makes a very interesting ratio between the bruto and netto floor surface. And that allows you to make this void in a very affordable way. So the Superlofts community is now quite large and it's operating in different countries. We are then approached by local architects or developers and help them to set up a community project with them, a building, and then co-design it with them. So this is how it works. People join in a community, then they co-design the apartment block with us and the local partner. We design the infill, the people design their own infill systems, and then can share their inspiration on our platform all over the world. And it's very nice to see people get so excited, because there's nothing more nice than to design your own house. And it's fantastic to see that this creativity that everyone has really comes to life. Then this enthusiasm also results in all kinds of sharing facilities. I talked about energy, but also shared spaces like a roof terrace with panoramic roof view, or a shared space like a shared living room in the building where they can have a communal meal once every month, or a place where the children can play together. And yeah, this is the energy system that I already talked about. So in the Netherlands, we are working in Amsterdam on 4 sites in the harbor. And this is one of the other projects that we have realized there. The extra deep facade gives privacy on the balcony. It also organizes all kinds of things like the sewer system for the rainwater, ventilation. Everything is integrated in this kind of smart facade. And our interior design department, Home Lab, actually helps people to customize their interiors. We are now working with other architects to look at digital fabrication tools to make those interiors even more affordable. And we are building this library with shared elements for interiors, where people can share their drawings. 1 minute, that's perfect. Here you see some of the customizable cores that we are developing, like around the shaft, the building costs, and the last movie. This is the movie that shows the final result. It's just 30 seconds, so it should just be one time. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mark. Ellen, do you want to go first?
Is that because it's a Dutch project? Well, of course, I know the project. I think it is quite smart, what you're doing. I just have a question. You said that you're building basically the shell with a contractor, and then the buyers or the owners come on board and they do the interiors. Are you doing that? Is that collaboration taking part during construction or afterwards, or how does that work?
Well, in different countries we work in different ways. In the Netherlands, and in this particular project, the homeowners were on board before any construction company was there. We generated the ideal mix of apartments with the homeowners. They all pay 30,000 euros down payment in order to pay for the development costs up to the building permit. We invest our time, and then we sell the whole project to a construction company, including the homeowners. And that gives them, the construction company, the security that they can actually finish it and build it without an investor coming on board, which reduces the costs enormously and takes out all risk for the developer because people have already signed up. In the United States, we're trying to analyze if we can set up a project in New York, and there it will probably not work like that. There you will need to build the structure first and then bring the people in a later stage when, and you need a developer and an investor to make the first stage.
Okay, thanks.
Could you just give me a sense of the pricing of the units?
Yeah, per square meter, would you like to? Yeah. So the plot of land is very affordable. It was only €1,000 per square meter. The raw space, the framework, only €1,000 per square meter. Then the fill-in system, varying between €500 to €1,000 per square meter. So people got a house, fantastic house, for 3,000 euro per square meter. Then you have some, of course, add-ons like a parking garage, a parking spot, which adds up another 30,000 euros. And some people, of course, make it very luxurious interior, and then you will have to go to 2,000 euro per square meter instead of 1,000. So let's say between 3,000 and 4,000 euro per square meter, which is of course ridiculous because now the prices have gone up in Amsterdam up to 6,000, 7,000 to 8,000 euro per square meter on that spot. And the project also helped to do so. So people are really developers, the homeowners are co-developers, and they really benefit from the time they have spent. They've spent like 3 years of their life talking with us about the building, taking all kind of risks. And then, yeah, the benefit is they actually get a really good deal.
But I suppose in the current economic context in Amsterdam, these numbers look slightly different.
Yeah, because the land prices now
went up
are
substantially.
they doubled? Yeah. And there is no available land. We were really lucky in the first project because there was nobody wanted to develop anything. There was a complete building stop in the real estate crisis.
Just one more question. What scale do you think this could actually go up to? How much can you scale this up to?
Well, I think there is. It depends. Look, I think ideally we would like to make a tower, let's say a 100-meter tower, with a whole variety of levels of co-creation. Some lofts where you can build them up completely yourself, maybe 20%, but also a large number of lofts where you can choose from different kind of options for the interior from a catalog, and then make final choices yourself. So I think there can be a whole array of, let's say, levels of influence that you can combine in a larger scale building. And for us, that would be very interesting. We are looking into this.
May I come back to the cost for a moment? If you forget about this, the plot,
Yeah.
and it's just, what is it then, 2,000 euro per square meter? And is that building cost, or is that including the fees and the permit costs and things, or? Just to give me an impression, because you're talking about affordability.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, this is including all costs, and this is 5 years ago that we started with the project, so it took 5 years to develop and build it. Now I would say you would have to increase those costs because it's just a long time ago, it was in the middle of the crisis. But this was including our costs. So we didn't charge a development fee, we charged our architect's fee, but a very good one, which was very unique. In the Netherlands, architects are completely squeezed out, and it's very difficult to get a normal fee for your work.
Okay.
And then we also added fees for process management, project management, and for selling the apartments.
But can I say, I mean, it's kind of affordability for a kind of middle class. It's not what we normally call affordable housing, which is like social housing. Is that the case? I mean, it's a quite low price for a normal apartment house, but it's from
I think
point of view of quite high price if you would talk about social housing.
In the Netherlands, 70% of Amsterdam is social housing, only 30% is liberal housing.
Okay.
The high-end market is facilitated, but the middle-income housing is not. There's a huge group of families that would like to stay in the city, they cannot afford it, there's no house available, and this project really tailors to the middle class, upper and to lower middle class, a whole range. People that just start on the market to people that are already selling. Sorry,
Don't misunderstand me, it's not bad or good, it's just about knowing, because I think there's a certain difficulty. I mean, there's social housing on one side, and on the other side, there are people that are just slightly above social housing, and they have a real problem. Yeah, so
that's the real problem in the market. Those people, they don't get any place in the city at the moment.
I really enjoyed it. I would like to know what motivated you to start in the first place on this idea.
Well, to be honest, the fact that real estate developers don't really dare to take any risk. They don't invest in research and development processes a lot in the Netherlands in the last 15 years, so they are making really conventional houses. And the innovations we need to do together as an architects community to make sustainable architecture, they really can only happen if you take risks and if you really invest in new concepts. And that nobody does that, so we decided to do it ourselves.
But your industrial partner, who you found as a kind of to build your frame, how difficult was that to do, to find that partner?
It was very hard to convince them that it would actually work, and I have to, all the respect for the first construction company, they made a huge loss, really 600,000 euros loss on a 6 million project. And now we did 7 new projects with them, which turn out to be profitable for them. But in the first time, they took a huge risk.
I think I'm going to move to Amsterdam. Lovely project. We're going to present you with your award now. Chris Barger from GROHE and James Timberlake.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you. That's nice. Thank you.
Yeah, super. Well done, Mark.
Thank you very much.